This is how you close. This is how you do a second appointment. Now, real quick, it doesn't have to be a second appointment. It could be the end of the first appointment. But you have to know how to close. You can do a one-call close. Again, a lot of times, you will not be able to close unless you do two things. Number one, you help them understand that they have a problem. And number two, you ask for the sale. AKA, make an offer. You have to make an offer, you can't close. You have to be able to do these two things before you do anything else. If they don't feel they need it, if they don't have a big enough problem, they will not buy. They will not buy, right? So you have to ask someone for the sale, and you have to find the problem. Now, whenever I'm sitting with the client, let's just say we're doing it the way that we've been doing it, and that is that we do a company overview, and then we ask them if they're open to another conversation. And we schedule it anywhere from the next day to a week out. The further out you go, the less likely they are to buy. In theory, you would like to run a second appointment and then say, is this something you're open to? And they say, yes, I need to know this right now, and you go straight into the appointment. I believe the one that you guys sat in, I did that, right?
Yeah.
And you guys sat in that appointment, like I just went straight into a second appointment. So it doesn't have to be the second appointment, it's just called the close, the second half of the appointment. And in the beginning, it's okay if you just run the first half of the appointment and set it up with someone else, Aaron, Casey, me, that can close more frequently. And it's okay to do that. I did that for 7 months. I've been here for 2 months and I don't know how to close. Dude, I did it for 7 months. Next, so this is just the three, I tell every single client. And if I just finish the presentation, I say, is this something that would be valuable for you? You have this problem. Can I share this solution with you? And they say yes. I'm gonna say, great. Can I give you the 3-step solution that I give to everybody else? This is how we determine how much insurance somebody needs and how we help them out. And whether you make, this is exactly what I say, whether you make $10,000 a year or $10,000 a second, this is the same equation that I use for everybody. The first step, and I do exactly this, you guys have seen me, the first step is to figure out how much insurance you need. I don't write how much insurance you need. I don't write need with a period. I write need with a question mark. I don't do 2 and 3 and then come back to 1. I just handle one thing at a time. And I say in order to figure out how much you need, it is standard in our industry, to make it, I didn't pull this out of my butt, that we have a formula called DIME-L. The D stands for debt. So, Mr. Vera, how much debt do you have? Just play along with me. How much debt do you have? Student loans, credit cards, auto loans? 50,000? Okay, great. Awesome. And then the I stands for income. So what's your income on average? $120,000? Okay, great. You're married, you have kids?
Married and kids.
Married with kids? Cool. How old's your youngest child?
5.
Your youngest child is 5. So how many years do we have till they go to college? 13 years. So I would suggest that you at least have 13 years left of income that goes to your spouse until your kids are older. Some of my clients want 20 or 30 years, but how many years would you want your wife to have your income so she wouldn't have to change her standard of living? 20? Okay, great. And you have to be able to do, you don't have to be able to do this in your head, but you should be able to do 120 times 20 and know that it's 2.4 million. The M stands for mortgage, and you don't write this because it doesn't have to do with dime, but just for your own head, it's for rent. So do you own your home or you rent?
Rent.
You rent? Okay, great. What is your current monthly rent? $2,500. So times 12 is $30,000 a year. Times 5 years is $150K of rent. So your wife has 5 years of rent backed up no matter what. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great. Now the E stands for education. You have 2 kids, you said?
Yeah.
2 kids. And so typically most parents that I talk to want to have somewhere between $200,000 to $300,000 per child for college. Or the cool thing about this versus a 529 plan is even if they don't want to go to college, you have $200,000 to $300,000 for them to start their own business, buy real estate, do whatever they want. So it doesn't have to be this range, but what's an amount that you feel comfortable with that you would want your kids to have each?
Almost 300.
300? Okay, great. I mean, that's not the most. You could either meet the million. What would you prefer?
300.
300 is cool? Alright, great. So there's 600K there. And then the L stands for legacy. This is kind of like, and I draw the box, this is a wild card position. What I mean by that is right now you have 50 plus 2.4 plus 150 plus 600. And if you're doing math, this is how you do easy math. I don't draw this, but I'm gonna show you my thought process. It's 50 and 150 is 200, 200 and 600 is 800, and then I can just simply do 800 and 2.4. So right now you need about $3.2 million. That's where you're at. Is this enough? Or a lot of my other clients like to add more money behind? It's up to you. Is 3.2 enough? Or would you like to leave behind 4, 5, $10 million? 5? Okay, cool. So we're gonna put $1.8 million in the legacy spot, and we're gonna do $5 million is what you need. Does that make sense? Okay, great. So do you have any questions about this? I want them to know that I'm not trying to sell them. I'm helping them figure out how much they need. I'm not trying to like upcharge their insurance. Cool. This all makes sense? Ready for step 2? Alright, cool. Step 2 is that we need to figure out how much insurance you can afford. And you use a simple formula. Income minus expenses is your discretionary income. In business, that would be called profit. You said your income is 120. Is that before or after taxes? Say before. That's before taxes? Okay, cool. And you live in Florida? Alright, so you're probably bringing home what, like 90 or 100? What's your paycheck? $8,000 a month? Alright, so you get paid like $4,000 bi-weekly? Alright, cool. So you're bringing home $8,000 a month. That's a good question. What's your paycheck? Because people are like, I make 120 grand a year, but they only really, their paycheck's 4 grand a month every 2 weeks. Like, you don't make 120 grand a year. You think you do, but you pay taxes 10%. So you make $8,000 a month in income. That's what you take home?
Yes.
Alright, great. What about your expenses? Do you know how much your monthly expenses are?
Yeah.
What are they about? 4,500? Alright, cool. I'm gonna give you an extra nice dinner with the family. I'm gonna round it up to 5,000. I always round this down and this up. And this is the magic question. So is it accurate to say that you bring home $3,000 left over every month?
Yeah.
Say no.
No.
No. Okay, cool. So that means you're spending more than you think you are, probably?
Probably not.
Probably the wife? Alright, cool. How much are you putting, how much are you bringing home? 1, 2, 2,500? 2? Alright, cool. So this is really a 6, and this is really a 2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. All good. Most of my clients overestimate how much they make and underestimate how much they spend. It's totally normal. It's all good. So now with this $2,000 a month, what do you do with this?
Put in savings.
Putting in savings? Cool. All of it?
Yeah.
All of it. Cool. Where do you have your savings account at?
Capital One.
Capital One, so it's just a normal savings account?
Yeah.
So do you know what you're getting, what your interest rate on that is? 0.00, so 0.01%. Would it be okay with you if I 500x your savings?
Yeah.
Great question. Would it be okay with you if I 500x your savings? Because times 500 equals 5%. So if I could show you a place where you can take this $2,000 a month, and instead of getting 0.01%, you can get 5%, would you be open to that? Alright, cool. Oh, tell them, I know they're sold already. It doesn't have to, now you don't have to go into paralysis analysis, you don't have to like explain it to them. This is the concept. They just bought, did they buy life insurance at all right now? No, they just know they need to leave $5 million behind to their family, and they can get 500x their savings. That's what they're sold on. My wife will be fine, and I'm gonna make 500 times I usually do on my savings. Great. Now the third step is to figure out what type of insurance you want. The first type, do you remember from the presentation? Do you remember what the first type was? Term? Cool. So just so you know, now before I would go through illustration world, I don't do that anymore. Now I would say, okay, cool, term. The positive, do you remember? It's affordable, right? But the downside, do you remember what that is, Mr. Client? It expires. Do you remember how often? 98% of the time. All right, so that's option one. Option two is permanent, right? Permanent is the one that has cash. Permanent's the one with the living benefits. Permanent's the one that, what? Never expires. Cool. And then sometimes my clients do a little bit of both, right? So which do you want? Okay, cool. So let me go figure out what that would be. I'll take the $2,000, so we're okay, you understand, we're talking about $2,000 here, and we're talking about $5 million, right? Alright, cool. Before we do anything, this process works just like a mortgage, right? You're gonna submit your information over to the underwriter, they're gonna do their math, they're gonna do their calculations, and they're gonna come back to you. It's not necessarily based as much as finances as a bank loan is, it's more based on your health. So because it's $5 million, you're probably gonna have to do a quick physical. They'll come to your house for 10 15 minutes, right? But we're gonna get this submitted to underwriting so that I can actually come to you and we can make this decision together, okay? So, do you have 2 minutes? We'll fill out the application?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Say no.
No.
No? Okay, do you have a minute and a half?
No.
No? What about a minute?
Maybe.
All right, cool. I'm the quickest app filler outer you'll ever meet. Hold on 1 second. Boom. Great. What's your name? What's your email? Cool. I got your phone number. I got your email already. What's your birthday? What's your social? By the way, do you think I have it memorized in my mind? All right. What's your social? All right. What's your father's age? Are your parents alive? What are their names? Boom, boom, boom. All right. Where do you work? What's the name of it? I'll look up the address later. I know you got a minute. Go rock and roll. Great. I got your income. I got your net worth. Cool. Who do you want your beneficiary to be? What's your wife? Cool. What's her name? Great. I'll take care of the rest. Do you smoke at all? What's your height and weight? Do you have any prescriptions? Do you have a doctor? Any surgeries? No, no, no. Cool. What bank do you want to use? Capital One. What's the account and routing number on that? All right. Cool. Sounds good. All right. Give me some pushback. Give me some pushback. Why do you need
my bank account?
Because it's for life insurance, bro. Don't worry. I'm a licensed life insurance agent in the state of Florida. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't take it, but it just has to happen for the application process. So what's the account number?
Are you sure?
I'm sure, brother. I've done a lot of these. What's your account number? Cool. And what's your routing number? Great. Alright, I'm gonna breeze through these health questions real quick. I'll be done in 10 seconds, alright? Do you smoke? Do you do drugs? Any DUI? Suspended license? Bankruptcies? Boom, boom, boom. Any reason you going bungee jumping or paragliding anytime soon? No? Alright, ha ha ha, cool, boom, boom, boom. And then I go through the health questions, none of this, and I'm screen sharing so they can look at it. You don't have this, you don't have this, no hip issues, no digestive issues, no ADHD, no stress, no anxiety, no nothing. Great, the other key question is the last one, right? Do either your parents have any heart disease, cancer, anything like that?
No.
Alright, cool. Sounds good. I'm gonna get this submitted. Go rock and roll. Have an awesome day. I don't need anything else. Just text me a picture of your driver's license real quick, okay? Alright, sounds good. Talk soon. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bam. That's it. Alright? Like, that's how you close easily. And some of those things I would learn how to say, but in the beginning, as long as you do this, this, and this, you're cool. You just have to close. Closing is a skill. And it takes time. I was reading the Closer Survival Guide, and I'm like, I'm a pretty good closer. Some of these things will enhance my game way more. I have 100 flashcards in my notebook. I'm gonna write out all of our closes and have flashcards, and I'm gonna study them. I need to be better. I wanna make more money and make money by closing.